Hello there. My name is Murray. I'm with my co-host Corey, and we are the Real Guys. And this is the Real Show with two E's. We've got a packed show for you today, and we are your number one platform on the airwaves and on YouTube for pop culture, film, and television discussion. As always, I'm accompanied by my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
This month is particularly special. It's the month of May, and what are we doing in this month of May, Corey?
I wonder what we are. Doing, Murray. We are, of course, doing Star Wars month.
Yes, and it is, in fact, as we record this, it is May the 4th today.
It is currently May the 4th, yeah.
So happy Star Wars Day, Corey.
Happy Star Wars Day, Murray.
May the 4th be with you. May the Force be with you. What are we doing today?
We are talking about the releasing today as of recording, animated series, The Bad Batch.
Yes, just released on Disney Plus. It's released its first episode, a 1 hour, a 75 minute, not 1 hour, 75 minutes, it's 1 hour and it's together 75 minutes,
yeah.
About 1 hour 15, by the people who brought you Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. We have Star Wars The Bad Batch. Let's get into a little bit of background. You came into this fairly not knowing what it was going to be, right, Corey?
Yeah, I knew it was to do with Clone Wars, and I know a bit about Clone Wars, but other than that, I was very unknown to me.
Okay, well, this is basically as close... I didn't think it would be like this, but this is as close to a sequel show to Clone Wars as you can get. There was a lot of talk about having like a live-action sequel to Clone Wars. There was a lot of saying there's another animated show coming out, sequel to Clone Wars, and this is it. The Bad Batch is definitely the show that's going to be the sequel to Clone Wars that we all expected. Of course, Clone Wars ended in Season 7. It ended in Season 7, it tied into Revenge of the Sith, and this is taking place after Revenge of the Sith. So this is exactly as Revenge of the Sith happens. This is your sequel to Star Wars The Clone Wars. It brings a lot of new ideas to the table, brings a lot of old faces to the table. Let's go through them. What do you want to do first? Do you want to go for plot, characters? We'll try and freeform this. If you listen to our Rogue One review, we went less of linear, went more of sort of topic, freeform, whatever we want to talk about. So we'll try and do the same here. Spoilers, if you've not seen the first episode of The Bad Batch. If you've got Disney Plus, go out and watch it. If not, then just sit back and enjoy the ride, enjoy the episode.
Yeah, so I've got two things to say. First off, the intro, these like not the credits, but you know how like you have the like the Lucasfilms logo.
Oh yes.
First off, that I know we did this in like the holiday special, Lego version. The Star Wars intro is always nice with the different faces.
Oh yeah, they changed them actually. They changed them. Did you notice?
I didn't actually.
Normally it's like normally it's someone from every era. So it's like Luke Skywalker's helmet, Captain Phasma, Kylo Ren, BB-8. In this one, it's like General Grievous, a commando droid, a clone helmet, that kind of thing. It's changed to be different Star Wars characters depending on the era, and I like that. I
did also enjoy the Clone Wars logo appears and then disintegrates into the Bad Batch logo.
It's the red Clone Wars logo. You know, whenever that showed up, it was dark. Like the Darth Maul episodes have the red Clone Wars logo. It's like, oh, whenever the red Clone Wars logo shows up, you know that it's going down. You know that it's going to be a bit of a dark affair. And this is quite dark in points.
My other point, other than the cool title sequence, about quarter of the way in, right? I noticed something, and I'm interested in seeing if you picked it up as well. You know Hunter?
Yes, I do. Not personally.
But yes. And I literally had this written down in my notes, right? I've got, war is over, comma, is he Rambo?
Yes, he is. He is Rambo. He is meant to be Rambo. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
Because I was
right.
like, all of a sudden, the dots just clicked. I was like, he's got his red headband on, he's got the long hair, he's got the stubble, he's got a knife. I'm like, he's Rambo, isn't he?
He's got the black face paint. Yeah, he's Rambo.
I was like,
he's meant to be Rambo, yeah.
I mean, okay, obviously character-wise, right? So we mentioned Hunter. Hunter's Rambo. He's cool. He's in charge.
Hunter's the leader. Hunter's got super senses.
Yes, everyone's got something about them.
Everyone's got genetic mutations, apart from the newest member, Echo, who has sort of technological advancements with his sort of probe. His sort of there's a name for it. Sort of manipulator computer arm. And his sort of collar that he wears. Yeah, so you got Hunter, you got Echo, you got Tech. Tech, yeah.
Obvious one, what he does.
He works with technology. He's the specialist. He's the tech guy.
You got Wrecker.
Wrecker, he's the brawler.
He's the big
the big guns. He's the heavy muscle.
And then you have
Crosshair, and he is the sniper.
he's one of the more interesting characters.
Yeah, strangely enough, right. Let me say this.
Yep.
The Bad Batch didn't first appear in this show.
Mm-hmm.
They appeared in Clone Wars Season 7. They were in the first arc of Clone Wars Season 7, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same character. But Crosshair is much more softly spoken. He's much more... he doesn't say much. He's more of the silent killer. He'll say like a couple of lines, but he'll be very enigmatic and he won't say much. In this, Crosshair talks quite a bit. And I was like, well, that's a slight change. Another thing is Wrecker seems slightly dumber in this. He seemed like he knew what he was doing a bit more in the Clone Wars. He seemed to have dumbed him down slightly, but who knows? Age. It's been a bit since they appeared in the Clone Wars. So even though they're in the last season, they're in Season 7.
Yeah, so they're here. There is other characters. We'll get onto them in a minute, like Omega, that sort of thing. Also, actually, I want to point out in the opening sequence when it mentions people, you see Obi-Wan. Sizzling Sam makes an appearance.
Oh god, I forgot that. They completely do Revenge of the Sith in animated, don't they?
Yeah. Obi-Wan's there.
I popped hard for that. I was like, oh, they reanimated Revenge of the Sith with all with the models from Season 7.
Yeah, like Sizzling Sam Jackson's there.
That was actually used footage from Season 7. What is new was the bit when they bring back the Clone Wars narrator.
Yes.
They bring back the Clone Wars narrator, Tom Kane, as the war across the galaxy with Jedi Knights, Anakin Skywalker are fighting to rescue the Chancellor, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, the other thing is, and I was watching this, and I think I found, or at least just discovered, the one of the best names in Star Wars history. Depa Billaba.
Oh yes, Jedi Master Depa Billaba. Yeah,
so fun to say.
I think she's in the Phantom Menace. She's a live-action character. She was just an extra, just a Jedi in the background. And like many Star Wars characters, she was given a name and given a character and given a story. So yeah, Jedi Master Depa Billaba. We've heard about her. We heard about her in Star Wars Rebels, which I'll get onto in a minute.
Yeah.
We heard about her in Star Wars Rebels. We saw her in Season 7, the last Clone Wars season. She was on a hologram, and that was all there is. There was a comic about her, I think, in canon. But that's all we've seen. This is the first time she's actually been heard speaking. And this is the first time we've sort of seen her do more than just kind of stand there. And we also have her Padawan, Caleb Doohan, or as many will know him, Kanan Jarrus, one of the protagonists of Star Wars Rebels, one of the main characters, as seen as a boy, still played by Freddie Prinze Jr., reprising his role as a young Kanan Jarrus. And it's told how Caleb got away from the clones, which he only talks about briefly in Star Wars Rebels. He only says, oh, I was just running, and I just kept running, and that's all he said, something like that. Now, I know there was a comic that insinuated that the Bad Batch were involved, but it was never said how. So now we finally see how. It starts off on the Frost planet. Is it called Karla?
Yes, it's Karla, I believe.
They're battling the Separatist battle droids. The battle droid is still voiced by Matt Woods, which is amazing. They're going, fire! Roger, roger, that kind of thing. And they're in the tanks. The Bad Batch show up. They wipe out all the Separatist forces using their variety of skills. Also, I didn't think it had happened this soon. I was like, right, okay. Tech goes, we've just received a communication. General Obi-Wan Kenobi has engaged General Grievous on Utapau. I'm like, all right, okay. Episode 3's happening right now at the minute. And then seconds later, this clone commander, who I think I should know the name of, but I don't. The guy, the green one. He does have a name. I guarantee you he has a name. Citation needed. That guy does have a name. The green clone commander is like... He steps away. He gets some orders on his comlink, and then immediately we're straight into Order 66.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, give me a minute to breathe. I've barely recovered from seeing it in Clone Wars Season 7 when all the clones still on Ahsoka. I'm not ready for this right out the gate. But yeah, we get the line. We get Palpatine turns up on the hologram. He goes, execute Order 66, and then another clones turn their guns on Depa Billaba and start gunning her down. She's trying to block it. She tells Caleb Doohan to run off. He runs off, and then we get our first sort of tease as to where one of the squad is going.
Yeah.
Crosshair immediately starts taking fire, starts trying to chase down and shoot Caleb Doohan, and Hunter's trying to protect him.
You can tell straight away that there's some kind of disagreement going on.
Yes, between them.
Yeah, and like it's obvious that for first off, Hunter is not affected by the the order.
Hunter and the other squad members aren't affected. But it seems that Crosshair may be, or slightly is.
And then, so they're chasing after the kid. They get to this... actually, first off, Crosshair gets knocked down for a bit. So it just leaves Hunter and Caleb on their own. Hunter's trying to reason with him. Doesn't quite happen. He uses his force. What a leap that was.
Yeah, force leap.
And then
I thought he was going to do that classic thing where he does the fall, and you look down and he's not there anymore.
Yeah, I thought he was going to like weirdly backflip off or something.
Yeah.
But nope. He jumps off.
Jumps it. I was like, right, okay, there was a cliff there, whatever.
Hunter's like, oh, he died, he fell down. And then it's in Crosshairs very obviously picked up an effect of the Jedi's still around.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the classic, and the line gets repeated a couple times, the classic, was it like, good soldiers follow orders?
Yeah, that is straight from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That is straight. Do you know that line already?
No, I do now.
Season 6 of The Clone Wars, a clone trooper called Top. This is going to be, sit down and listen to Murray talk about Star Wars for 5 minutes to explain this simple concept to Corey. Order 66 isn't inherent, right? It's implanted in a chip in them. So they have a chip in their brain, an inhibitor chip, that prevents them from sort of disobeying Order 66 or going against the word of the Chancellor. When Order 66 is executed, every clone will turn on the Jedi, guaranteed. It's explained that the Bad Batch don't have the effects of this chip because they're genetically altered. They return to Kamino, which is the planet they were born on, the planet where the clones of Jango Fett are. And they're called regs. They use the word regs for regular clones. And here, basically, it's just a Clone Wars fest, right? This basically, if you haven't seen Clone Wars, you're lost as who these people are. But Nala Se turns up from the Kaminoan Doctor from season 5, from where Fives was at Kamino trying to figure out the chip. Lama Su and Ton Wee show up from Attack of the Clones. Do you remember them two? Lama Su turned up previously in season 3 of the Clone Wars when Grievous tried to attack Kamino. Lama Su was there. We get the return of my favourite character in this entire episode, Admiral Tarkin, who we'll get onto a bit later.
Yeah, I gathered you were going to say that.
Yeah, we know I'm a big Tarkin fan here.
We haven't met my favourite either, but...
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even know your... Okay, we'll get onto that.
Well, one of them, anyway.
Right, okay. So they return to Kamino, and they're told that the war has ended, and the Coruscant Guard are there. Now, this is also another thing. They're seen sort of stretchering what is later seen to be the body of a Jedi. And this is done for a couple of reasons. One, because Palpatine wanted all the lightsabers of the Jedi to be returned to Coruscant, because he has a Sith temple under the Jedi Temple that needs to be powered by kyber crystals. And 2, they're inside the Jedi lightsabers. And 2, he needs them for the Death Star.
Yeah.
That's why all the Jedi bodies were to be returned to Coruscant. So that's why the Coruscant Guard are there. So, shock troopers, they're red painted. They look cool, by the way. I've got an action figure of a shock trooper. I'm looking at it now. It looks so cool. I love the red-white design, and it just looked great. And there was also Kamino shock troopers as well. Did you notice there were sort of grey design troopers as well?
Yeah.
They're sort of Kamino shock troopers as opposed to the Coruscant Guard. And then we get the arrival of Admiral Tarkin. He's not, in fact. I don't know whether this creates a slight continuity error, because Tarkin was on the Venator Star Destroyer when Darth Vader was sort of unveiled in Episode 3. He had a little cameo there, and I don't know whether this conflicts with it. And also, his rank at that time was a Governor, and here he's an Admiral. So I don't know whether after he was on Kamino, he just jetted really quickly to go in above Geonosis with the Emperor and Darth Vader to watch the construction of the Death Star. I assume this timeline takes place just days after, or hours after, the execution of Order 66. So I assume that Anakin is fighting Obi-Wan at this very time this episode is taking place.
Tarkin arrives. They run about clones, and Tarkin is not very fond of clones, which gets brought up a couple of times in this episode. Doesn't like clones. At this point, Omega, or Omega, depending on who is pronouncing it at the point.
You caught that as well?
Yeah.
She says Omega.
Yeah.
Because she has a New Zealand accent, I assume, the actress. I don't know what her name is, but she has a New Zealand accent I tried to track down. So she says Omega. Everyone else says Omega.
Yeah.
They have sort of Dee Bradley Baker as, playing it like American, I suppose.
She gets introduced, and it's essentially she's a assistant to a medic.
Yeah, Nala Se is the Kamino's doctor's name.
She introduces himself. She knows who the Bad
She knows
Batch
who they are.
are.
The whole thing is the people. Also, V-wings. I popped for V-wings. Do you know those ships that escorted the Bad Batch shuttle the first time they arrived at Kamino? Those were V-wings, and we've never seen V-wings in Clone Wars before.
Yeah, so Omega gets introduced. She knows who they are. She gets taken away, and then they're in a cafeteria.
Yeah, and Imperial officers arrive to inspect the clones,
which is later revealed to be Tarkin.
First off, I kind of chuckled at that guy calling them the Sad Batch.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit funny. And then Omega throws that food at the guy. It's like a space tomato or something. And he turns around like, "What are you doing? Who threw that? What are you doing?" kind of thing. And Wrecker just throws the old plate at him.
So one of my favourites, and this is a bit of a mouthful, this is a Borat moment here, is AZ 345-211-896-2464-987-21347.
Right, can I tell you something about AZ3?
Yes, please.
Would it astonish you to know that AZ3 has showed up in the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
I had a hunch.
Yes, he showed up in the Clone Wars. He was in that same arc I just mentioned about Fives discovering the Order 66 chips.
Yeah.
He was in that arc. He was on Kamino, and he helped Fives discover what happened to Top, and he helped Fives escape Kamino. So I got so excited when he showed up. I was like, "Oh, that's AZ3 droid. Is it the same character?" And it is the same character. They probably wiped his memory or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
But he's the same sort of. He's the same droid. He's the same, happy droid. And also, spoilers. They kill him off.
Yeah, he gets shot. Literally.
He gets shot by who I assume is by Lieutenant Thyer or Commander Devis or someone. They don't name that officer, but he's a shock trooper officer, clone officer, and Omega, and this is what the Bad Batcher succeed in a combat test. They defeat all these drones, all these like drone droids. I think they're DT series sentry droids. They look like they're from Rebels as well. They've been given a new lick of paint, but they are from Rebels. They're white instead of black. And they defeat all the sentry droids, and then they get taken in by Tarkin, and Tarkin's like, "That was quite an impressive display. I'm going to send you out and send you on to this mission. You must go and defeat these insurgents in the Onderon system, right?" So off they go to Onderon, and they have a whole subplot there where they realise that it's not actually droids they've been sent to fight. They've been sent to fight people. Hunter doesn't want to do it. They reveal it's Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, he's back again.
And his rebels, Saw's back.
I swear, every single time he shows up, he looked completely different.
No, right. Well, he's aging. This is him. His voice is starting to sound like Forrest Whitaker as well. His voice has gone into a bit of a Forrest Whitakerism now.
Yeah.
Lies, deception. No, okay. So we have Saw Gerrera back. He's fresh from the Clone Wars. He was in Clone Wars Season 5 as well, on Onderon. I think he's one of the most charted new characters we've ever had.
I was going to say.
From Clone Wars Season 5 to Bad Batch to Rebels Season 3, Rebels Season 4, then Rogue One. He has just had a complete timeline. Like, you can watch Saw Gerrera's evolution from being a rebel on Onderon in Clone Wars all the way up to Rogue One where he dies. I think that for Star Wars is character progression for Star Wars throughout different media has always been stellar, and I'm more than happy to see Saw show up.
Yeah, so like again, this is another part of tension where Crosshair wants to fulfill the mission, to follow orders. Omega and I'm just going to call him AZ and just not name every single number.
AZ, that's his name.
They're scoping around the Bad Batch's...
The Bad Batch's room. They sneak into the room to try and find... What are they trying to find, or they just stumble upon it?
I think Omega just kind of wants to look around.
Oh, right, okay. She finds that picture of them, doesn't she?
Yes. And at this point, like, AZ's been told, like, oh, we're doing like a research experiment or something. So he's like picking everything up and going, oh, what we're looking for? Is it this? What about this?
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
And then like...
I knew you'd like the droid, Corey. I knew you'd be onto like the droid.
So I have written down, right, I love AZ. And then literally immediately after that, I have written down, they shot the droid.
They shot AZ. Commander, whatever his name is. I'd be happy if he was Lieutenant Thyer, because Lieutenant Thyer was in like the first episode of Clone Wars. He was one of the clones that was sent to guard Yoda on a mission to meet the King of Toydaria. That was Lieutenant Thyer. And I really hope that this is clone. I don't know if it was the 10th Thire. I probably should have checked, but I would like if it was Thire or if it was Devis or someone like that. But
Yeah.
it probably isn't. It's probably just a random clone shock trooper clone commander.
It probably
But-
is.
But we also mentioned that someone else shows up in this.
Yes.
We get a little hologram via hologram, scene of Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, and he's got Sith eyes.
He does.
You told me he stood there from the whole galaxy with Sith eyes, wearing Sith robes, and yes, in canon they are Sith robes. What he's wearing, do the whole speech of. I was saying it along with him because I knew that scene really well. As the remaining Jedi will be hunted down and defeated, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, the Republic will be reorganized into the first Galactic Empire. Yeah. For a safe and secure society. And then the music swell. It was like that scene over again, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
The music always goes da 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 da, and it was the whole music was going on. All the clones were cheering. It was like, oh, that scene got me. I was roused by that scene. I was like, oh, I always love that speech. That's such a great moment in Revenge of the Sith. Did you recognise that from that was pulled straight? That audio was pulled straight from Revenge of the Sith. That was Ian McDiarmid.
I mean, I know the track record. This isn't a bad thing, but I know the track record of animated reusing live action stuff and like
Star Wars, especially recently, Star Wars do it a lot. Star Wars have been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah.
That was Ian McDiarmid for Revenge of the Sith. That was Revenge of the Sith audio. Obviously, they made it sound like hologrammy.
Yeah.
But that was Revenge of the Sith audio. That was that full speech from Emperor Palpatine. And oh, is it good? Is it good? Oh, that was such a good moment. But yeah, the Bad Batch is sent off to Onderon after passing the test. They head back to Kamino.
Yeah.
To go and get Omega.
Yeah.
And they find all their stuff's been taken. They get captured immediately by Tarkin and his shock troopers, and they're imprisoned. Now this is a bit where I thought it was slightly funny. They're running around in their wetsuits with all their armor taken off them. It's called like a body glove or something like that. It's like their undersuit under the armor, right? And then we get sort of an ending where Crosshair is removed from the group.
Yes.
And taken to what I can only assume to be a chamber built specifically for brainwashing people. The brainwash center that he's taken to.
Yeah.
And he's strapped down by Nala Se, the Kamino Doctor and Lama Su and the robots. And his inhibitor chip is augment. What did she say? Are you going to change it so it works more? It works.
Yeah.
Make it more powerful?
Yeah. So he's kind of getting the orders, but he doesn't have to follow them. Which is explained.
Yeah, he's getting them, but doesn't have to follow them. But this will make him it will indoctrinate him fully. It will brainwash him fully. The fact that he is one, and he comes out. That is stormtrooper armor he's wearing. That is like shadow trooper black stuff. He's got the grill. He's got the mouth grill. He's got the green sort of. That is like shadow trooper armor. And if you follow our Twitter account at The Real Show FM, The Real with 2 E's. I've tweeted previously about how much I like the Shadow Trooper armor and that I was happy to see it return in Bad Batch. As far as villains go for this series, I sort of knew that Crosshair may have turned because there were several. I watched the trailer. There's several shots in the trailer that didn't include Crosshair. I was like, oh well. And there was a clone walking around in black armor that looked exactly like Crosshair's armor.
Yeah. And
I know some animator for this show tried to like throw us off the scent by saying that it was Commander Cody.
Yeah.
And we believed it for the most part, but then we realised, oh no, there's no way it can be Cody. He's got Crosshair's rifle. He's wearing Crosshair's armor. Unless Commander Cody has killed Crosshair and taken his armor, where that is not Cody, and it wasn't Cody. But I still hope Cody can show up in this somewhere. Now they're obviously going. They're either going to see Rex or they're going to see some other character. We know Captain Rex is in this. He's in the trailers. They say they were going to planet IG9 or something? 9J? J9?
J19.
J19, that's the one. I said every variation apart from that one.
Yes, because they know someone.
J19 for someone they know. So
yes.
It may be Captain Rex. That's who I think it is, personally. I think it's a very strong start. It's got everything a Star Wars series sort of needs to have.
I quite enjoyed it. Would
you watch more?
Would I?
Yes. Would you?
Yeah. Is it enjoyable? Yes. Are the characters good? Yes.
There was parts in this where I swear they took some sort of live action influence. That close up of Hunter looked so realistic.
Yeah.
That I was like, this animation is mwah.
Yeah.
It is flawless. This is the Clone Wars animation, but ranked up, taken to the nth degree, ranked up to 11. And I'm like, oh, this so that close up. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Where he's doing that standoff with Crosshair down the hallway, and Crosshair's down the end of the hallway. He's got his rifle. He's in his sort of black stormtrooper gear, and Hunter's standing there, and he's staring him down. And there's that sort of Star Wars loves this. Star Wars loves the old Western influence of we're gonna stare at each other. Our hands are twitching by our holsters. I'm doing the pose now. Our hands are twisting by our holsters. We're gonna reach for our guns. And I'm going for the gun. I go for the gun. That kind of thing. That kind of happened. Then Star Wars loves that because that's what Star Wars was influenced by: old westerns and samurai films and spaghetti westerns, that kind of thing.
I think also we should mention. I don't think I've mentioned this yet. Omega is revealed to be a clone, just like
a female clone. Yes, the first female clone of Jango Fett, which we haven't had before, and I'm all for new ideas. And something else they deal with here is Tarkin makes a point where he says that the clone program can be phased out in favor of enlisting soldiers.
Yeah. And
Lama Su counters by saying, well, they're not going to have the same training as clones, or that we can provide. Right? And I think that's a little nod to what actually happens later on this. We may find that later on in the series, we stop getting. I wouldn't be surprised if we start getting, especially later on in the series. There's going to be 16 episodes. By about episode, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, we start getting actual stormtroopers or something like that. Closing thoughts?
I mean, it's good. I enjoyed it. As far as an introduction goes, I mean, like we have two separate views because you've seen all the Clone Wars, you've seen all the films, you know essentially most of the details from all of them, and I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. Well, I've seen all the stuff, I've seen bits of Clone Wars, I don't remember all of it, so I'm coming in fairly fresh, and I can say that from a fresh perspective, you still get what's going on. You still know what's happening. It works. Like, you're not missing out on anything.
No.
Which is good.
We mentioned this in Rogue One.
We did.
We said that for someone who understands and knows quite a lot, I don't want to say I know everything, but someone who knows quite a lot of what Star Wars is about, what goes on in Star Wars throughout the separate media and shows and films and details and stuff like that. It's enjoyable. Yes, it is, very much so. You get a lot of Clone Wars content in this that you'll be familiar with. You get a lot of characters returning. You get a lot of familiar scenes and stages and scenery and ships and weapons and all that kind of stuff. And events, that kind of thing. Thoughts on a real rating, perhaps? Could I push you for one?
I do have one.
Go on, then.
8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I always find it harder to give ratings to episodes rather than series, but I think I enjoyed it. It was good. It kept me, what's the word? Not enticed, but like entertained.
It kept you engaged
yes,
throughout.
That's the word I was looking for. And I enjoyed it. It was good. It was a good episode.
Okay.
I mean, like, even if I don't watch every single one, I'm probably going to watch them when I can, or if not, keep up to date with what happens in them.
Right. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
I'm going to go with 9.
I thought you would go higher than me.
Yes, I will. 9. Classic, great Star Wars product. Dave Filoni. Everything he touches turns to Star Wars gold. He's got the touch, he's got the power, he's got the blessing of George. He's worked under George in the Clone Wars for years, since 2008. People love Clone Wars. People love these characters, or will learn to love these characters, know to love them. And that is exactly what I want from a new Star Wars animated show. So, yeah, Bad Batch. 9 out of 10 for me, 8 out of 10 for Corey. Let's go on to our weekly rec. Do you have one prepared for us, Corey?
I do. I'm going to take it as one rec. I technically have 3.
Right, okay, and what is that rec then?
So, I'm going back on the role of animated.
Oh, yes, okay.
I'm going specifically Clone Wars.
Okay, I think I know, okay.
Now, here's the thing, right? I could recommend just go watch Clone Wars. There's 7 seasons. I know for some people that's not a lot. Some people binge watch Game of Thrones. I can't do that. It's too much for me. But if you want to go watch Clone Wars, go watch it. It's great fun. But I thought I'd recommend my favourite kind of like arc or moment
okay, yeah.
from Clone Wars. So I'm recommending Season 4, Episode 21, Episode 22, and episode 23.
I think I know what this is, but I'll let you talk. I'll let you carry on about it.
So this 3-episode arc essentially features one character who I think is a great character who didn't until kind of now and recently get expanded on, which is Darth Maul.
Oh yes, I know. Yes, this is the they call it it's called the Son of Darkness arc or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's about Darth Maul and I believe Savage Opress, his brother.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously his in Phantom Menace gets cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't die. Obviously he's seen in, is it Solo he's in as well?
Yes, he's in Solo. He has a cameo in Solo, played by Ray Park and voiced by Sam Witwer, who does him in the animated series.
But he doesn't die. He gets robotic legs, which is kind of cool, to be honest. I like them. He gets found by his brother.
Savage Opress, yeah, who we know about previously from season 3, I think.
I think Darth Maul, as far as Star Wars goes, is not only cool because of the character. I mean, first off, look at him.
Yeah.
He's this like tall, silent, red face paint, got horns, double-ended lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks cool as hell. And then also like he's gone in Phantom Menace. And then he's back in Clone Wars. I'm so glad they actually did something with him as far as like TV goes or film.
Mm-hmm.
And you see other stuff in Clone Wars as well about his past. Is it Palpatine kind of like unlocks a memory in him or something?
Oh no, it's a woman called oh god, why have I forgotten her name? I shouldn't have. I should have given my Star Wars squad back. Mother Talzin.
Yeah.
Mother Talzin is her name. She is the chief woman, the chief sister of the Night Sisters on Dathomir. She unlocks a memory back in Darth Maul, brings him back to his Sith state, gives him new legs out of the battle droid parts from the Battle of Dathomir that's just happened in the series. And he awakens as this new Sith Lord with Savage Opress, who's voiced by Clancy Brown. It's that is a solid arc. I thought you'd go for a Clone Wars arc, and I know you're a fan of Darth Maul, so
I'm rating all 3 episodes.
Okay, go on then.
I'm going to give them an 8.5.
Okay.
I think all 3 are solid. It is like essentially smack bang in the middle of the whole of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So by all means, if you want to watch all the seasons and just get to that point, go ahead.
Yeah, watch them in chronological order though. Don't be a peasant. Don't just do it 1 to 21. There is an order. There is a chronological order to them. So that's how I watched them the second time around. Yeah, it's a fun watch. Clone Wars is always. I'll never have a bad thing to say about Clone Wars.
No, Clone Wars is great.
That is your weekly rec, the Darth Maul arc. For what season is it? Season 4?
Season 4, yeah.
Season 4. The Darth Maul arc of Season 4 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Enjoy that, folks. It's a goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.